it's a lot of fun. Our fans are so amazing. Anytime we get to show them new stuff and get them excited, that's one of my favorite parts of doing this.
We had a huge villain last season in Savitar. What are they going to be up against in this new season?
We've had a speedster villain for the last 3 years, so we really wanted to do something different. This year, the Flash and his team will be up against the Thinker. We're positing it as the world's fastest man versus the world's fastest mind. We tend to think of the Flash as an athlete, like a runner, and so much of his previous seasons have been about training harder or I have to run faster. But he's up against a villain this season that he can't outrun. It's somebody that he has to outthink.
Yeah.
And it's going to take him and Cisco and Caitlin and a few other surprise people to be able to get one step ahead of the Thinker.
I'm not Caitlin anymore.
How are we going to meet Caitlin? Where has she been?
I think the best thing we can say is if you're a fan of Killer Frost, you won't be disappointed. And if you're a fan of Caitlin Snow, you won't be disappointed either.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime.
You're welcome.
With all the loss that we have suffered, it's important that we embrace the miracles too.
I think hardship is what makes us stronger. Where'd you come from, Barry Allen?
You took an 11-year-old boy with a broken heart and you gave him a home.
Looking back, I realized that was the night that we fell in love.
I look at you battling the darkness with honor and hope, and I'm reminded there's always another way. Always.
Whether you're stuck on another world, whether or not you have your powers, you never give in.
It's about one noble idea. That we can all stand up for what's right, no matter what.
This is a war, but I'm gonna fight it the right way, as I am all this city has.
I have no reason to be scared. The man I love is a superhero.
You do this, you are someone else.
This is who I am. If there's a cost, I'll pay it. For whatever reason, we've been given extraordinary abilities.
You need more than a mask to take on these streets.
May the best vibe win.
You have failed this city.
Just run as fast as you can. I'll try to keep up.
Action!
Does this ever get old?
If it does, I will let you know.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We finally got some new Flash, and they dropped a really cool comic book trailer for all of the shows. There's also some other stuff too that I'll play, like they're gonna have another Earth from the multiverse called Earth X that's been taken over by Nazis, and they'll have like a version of Supergirl called Overgirl there, and it'll debut one of their other animated characters. But there's a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So they confirm a couple big things. I mostly listened to the Caitlin stuff because we already knew about the Thinker. Like, it's just a villain that Barry can't outrun. But we learned a couple more episode titles, and a couple of the characters were confirmed for the first half of the season. So Andrew Kreisberg, who I'm happy hasn't completely left the show yet, he's been working mostly on Supergirl stuff, says that fans of Killer Frost and Caitlin will both be really jazzed up. I feel like most people want Caitlin to be Killer Frost, so I don't know why you'd be a fan of Caitlin and not Killer Frost. It's maybe just people who don't like comic book stuff. But when he says that, it means that she'll probably just have an easier time switching back and forth between her personas. Like, she'll be able to use her powers as Killer Frost without completely going off the deep end mentally. So they never did a great job of explaining why Caitlin went cuckoo banana pants the minute her powers were activated, because Barry got his Speed Force powers, he didn't automatically turn crazy. If you want to make the joke, you could say he's been crazy this whole time. Here's a really good example of that. So first time we ever see Grant Gustin playing Barry Allen is on Arrow. They debuted the character there. Then he went off to the pilot and they did the Flash TV show. This is what he was like before he got powers.
Sorry I'm late. But actually, my train was late. Well, the second one. The first one I did miss, but that was my cab driver's fault. I've got this great traffic app, and he thought that he was right. But I'm here now, though, so.
Great. Who the hell are you?
And do your parents know that you're here? I'm Barry Allen. I'm from the Central City Police Department. I'm with the Crime Scene Investigation Unit.
So he gets hit with a particle accelerator blast, does not automatically become evil. So why then does Caitlin automatically become evil? It just doesn't make sense. I think it was because they wanted her to be a villain and they didn't have a good way of explaining it. So it seems like Season 4 Caitlyn will be a more fun version of the character that just has some dark impulses that she'll seize on every once in a while, and when she loses her shit and starts using her powers, that's when her eyes will light up like this. But the rest of the time, she'll look closer to this, and I think that's for practical reasons as well as story reasons. Like, they want to have all the fun stuff, but they don't want all the baggage from last season. They don't want her to be a huge bummer, and they don't want Danielle Panabaker to have to sit in a makeup chair for 8 hours before every single day of filming. Stephen Amell actually said one time that the main cast members on the shows typically shoot more than 180 days a year. So that means like 180 days of 12-hour days. It's crazy. But the whole thing about The Flash versus The Thinker, just because it's going to be challenging Barry's intellect, his skills as a detective, which is probably why they're bringing the elongated man on, because he's also another detective with powers from the comics, is that he'll still be doing a lot of Flash-related stuff. He'll still be running around using his powers the way you've seen in previous seasons, and because he's come out of the Speed Force now, he will have some new powers as well. I've already done a video about that, so it's in my Season 4 playlist, so I'll just link that at the end of this. But they just want to let you know that it's not going to be a race to the finish. Like, he's not just going to outrun the villain and that'll be it. But the episode titles that we've learned about, so obviously you know episode 1 is called Flash Reborn. That's the one that got the Flash production office people in super big trouble. They posted a picture, and then like a day after that, everyone was talking about it, and then suddenly their Twitter account got deleted. So it was like, oh, they very clearly were not meant to reveal the title of the first episode. Very clearly a riff on Flash Rebirth, whichever version you're talking about. You could be talking about the Jeff Johns Flash Rebirth from 2009, or the recent one that they just did. Most of their Easter eggs are probably going to come from the one where Barry Allen came back, because it's Barry Allen coming back on the TV show. So episode 3 we learned is going to be titled Luck Be a Lady, so obviously everybody probably remembers that song, but that's the episode where Hazard from the comics debuts. She's the one that looks like this. She has crazy luck skills, so obviously you can imagine she goes to a casino and tries to win a bunch of money. The Flash has to stop her. But then episode 5 we learned a whole bunch of stuff about, so I did a separate video about that, but it's called Girls Night Out. It's sort of Iris West doing bachelor party stuff with an Arrow crossover. Katie Sackhoff is guest starring as Blacksmith from the comics, and supposedly she's going to be running a big underground fight ring that the Flash, Barry Allen, is going to have to fight in. So maybe Wally West will get involved in that too, but they kind of did a version of that on Supergirl, where she had to fight in the ring for a brief period. Like underground alien fight ring, so the Flash is doing their version of that. So that kind of answers the question of how they can do a Girls Night Out style episode, but the Flash is still a big part of it. But that aside, most of the footage from the comic book teaser that they dropped, even though it's really cool, is mostly footage from last season. I actually wish they would do more comic book promos for these seasons, but I think their marketing budget's been reduced quite a bit. Here's the promo for that Ray show, which is going to take place on Earth X, like the planet full of Nazis. So we'll get to see versions of our characters that are either Nazis themselves and villains, or fighting the Nazis.
We're introducing a whole new Earth, Earth X. We've got an entire planet that's been taken over by Nazis with a whole new group of superheroes and a lot of supervillains.
The android's brain. Give it to me. Not a chance.
So if it wasn't clear, Stephen Amell, Grant Gustin, all the Arrowverse actors will be crossing over to that, and they'll probably air it on CW Seed. I'm not planning on doing any big videos for it, but I think the idea is that the Ray character will eventually come onto the live-action shows the same way that Vixen did. But I do love the Red Sun twist on Supergirl, only instead of being part of the Soviet Union, she's a Nazi. But let me know in the comments, what are you guys pumped up about? There'll be some more promos like this in the next couple weeks. Once we get within about 4 weeks, they'll really start dropping footage. But congratulations to the latest Flash Ring giveaway winner, Zebby Clark. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. Leave all your requests for Flash Arrowverse bonus videos in the comments below. There's some more Arrow stuff that I might do a video for soon. They did say that the villains on Arrow would be a team-up, so we already know about Richard Dragon, we know about Black Siren, and then we know about Michael Emerson playing a character. But everybody seems to think like they have the wrong idea, so we'll just see who he winds up playing. But while you wait for everything, you can click here for all my Flash Season 4 videos, and you can click here for brand new Rick and Morty. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.